at a lavish engagement dinner hosted at an upscale rooftop restaurant. The entire extended family gathers to celebrate my older sister's upcoming wedding. She has always been a golden child, beautiful, confident, adored by relatives, while I was a quiet one who kept to myself and never shared much about my career. That night, dressed in a simple black outfit, I arrived alone, immediately becoming the target of her subtle smirks. When the champagne was poured and speeches began, she decided to turn the spotlight toward me. With a fake laugh, she announced to everyone, "Let's all appreciate my little sister who still hasn't figured life out. She works some mysterious government job she won't even tell us about. Probably files paperwork all day." The guests chuckled awkwardly. My aunt whispered. My cousins avoided eye contact, and my parents looked uncomfortable but stayed silent. Then her fiancé, Daniel, who had been charming and confident all evening, suddenly stared at me with confusion. He asked carefully, "Wait, what department did you say you work for?" My sister rolled her eyes and said, "She won't tell anyone because it's probably embarrassing." I calmly replied with composure, "I'm a federal circuit judge." Silence fell like a heavy curtain. Daniel's face drained of color. His fork slipped from his hand. The entire energy shifted instantly. What no one at that table knew was that Daniel's company was currently involved in a serious appeal, one assigned to my court. The laughter stopped. The power in the room reversed. And for the first time in my life, my sister looked small. Growing up, my sister had always competed with me, even when I wasn't competing back. She excelled socially, thrived on attention, and built her life around image and appearances. I chose a different path. Law school, years of study, sleepless nights, clerkships, and relentless discipline. I never shared my accomplishments widely because confidentiality mattered in my position. The less people knew, the better. But my silence became ammunition for her assumptions. She painted me as unsuccessful, antisocial, and secretive. When she met Daniel, a high-powered corporate executive with political connections, she exaggerated stories about me to make herself look superior. What she didn't realize was that Daniel's firm had recently been under investigation for regulatory violations, and the case was escalating through the courts. During the engagement dinner, when she mocked me in front of his colleagues and mutual friends, she unknowingly exposed a very secret she tried to weaponize. Daniel recognized my name the moment I introduced myself fully. He had seen it on legal documents. He had read my rulings. He knew my courtroom reputation. Firm, impartial, uncompromising. His sudden fear wasn't about embarrassment. It was about consequences. He quickly attempted to smooth things over, praise of my impressive career. But the damage was done. My sister sensed the tension, but didn't understand it yet. When she pressed Daniel later about why he looked shaken, he quietly explained that I was a presiding judge over a case that could determine the future of his company, and potentially his freedom. Her mockery had just collided with reality. After the dinner ended in stiff, uncomfortable silence, my sister cornered me in the parking lot. She demanded to know why I had made things awkward. I calmly explained that I had simply answered a direct question. She accused me of trying to sabotage her happiness, of intentionally hiding my career to trap Daniel. That's when I reminded her that my professional life was never about family approval. It required discretion. I also made it clear that my courtroom decisions were based on law and evidence, not personal connections. Daniel approached us mid-argument, visibly stressed. He asked me privately whether I would need to recuse myself from the case involving his firm. I told him the Judicial Ethics Committee would decide that. Not him, not my sister. The gravity of the situation finally sank in for her. For the first time, she realized that her public humiliation attempt had backfired dramatically. Instead of exposing me as insignificant, she revealed her own ignorance. Word spread quietly among family members over the next few days. Relatives who once pitied me began calling with sudden admiration. Invitations changed tone. Respect replaced ridicule. My sister's engagement party, meant to elevate her status, instead shifted the family dynamic permanently. And Daniel, once confident and charismatic, began treating me with careful politeness, knowing the courtroom would be the only place that truly mattered. Weeks later, the courtroom was packed. The case against Daniel's company had attracted media attention due to allegations of financial misconduct. My sister attended one hearing, sitting stiffly in the back row, avoiding eye contact with reporters. When I entered in my judicial robe, the authority of the bench spoke louder than any words exchanged at dinner. The law was clear. Evidence had been reviewed thoroughly. Arguments were heard. And when it was time to rule on a critical motion that could determine whether the case proceeded to trial, the room held its breath. I delivered my decision calmly and firmly, based solely on legal merit. No favoritism, no revenge, no emotion. My ruling allowed the case to proceed. Gasps echoed softly. Daniel closed his eyes briefly, knowing what it meant. Afterward, in the courthouse hallway, my sister finally approached me, not with sarcasm, but with humility. She admitted she had always underestimated me because she measured success by visibility, not substance. She confessed that her mockery came from insecurity. I didn't gloat. I didn't lecture. I simply reminded her that respect isn't demanded through loudness. It's earned through integrity. As I walked away, I realized something powerful. The moment she tried to shrink me was the moment she revealed her own smallness. And sometimes, the strongest revenge isn't humiliation. It's quiet authority.